All right. Idubbbz made another content cop. It's been very long time. Every commentary YouTuber is gonna swarm to this like flies on shit. And so I thought, maybe let me add a little to the conversation, But yeah, I mean, personally, I'm just gonna say off rip, like my respect for Idubbbz never really dipped. I didn't really care that much about what happened with him and his girlfriend and the OnlyFans stuff and him apologizing, becoming like a gay bitch. Like, never really bothered me. I didn't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. His content is very dated. Content Cop is like such a fucking 2016 era. Like, that era of YouTube is dead. So, I mean, just like where he's at right now, I don't really give a shit. But I saw the first few minutes and it just seems like he's really lost it, bro. The CTE is finally caught up to him, dude. all those punches from Dr. Kevin really fucking did a number. Cause now he's turned Content Cop into a just a liberal fucking weird propaganda pro-Palestine situation. I'm just assuming, really. I haven't even watched this video yet. I've only gotten like a minute in. But yeah, I don't know. Something's wrong with him. I'm gonna unmute it now.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hassan Piker, and it's Hassan broadcast coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles.
Is this too fast? This might not be fast enough.
We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content unit, and I'm not going to
I already got past this part a little bit.
Correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am, and also mental. Right about that too. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
This is so fucking cringy, bro. What the fuck
Ethan.
is this
Wake up,
garbage?
Ethan, wake up.
I swear to God, when I saw Idubbbz walk through here, I was like, is this AI? Like, I really thought like he green screened or AI'd because this just doesn't look real.
Wake Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake.
But no, he's just completely lost his ways and he's hanging out with a terrorist supporter who's just a grifter. I know Hassan doesn't actually care or believe anything he says. He just says shit because he's got a bunch of terrorists supporting retards following him and paying him money to do it. He doesn't believe anything he's saying, but I mean, why not just join sides with him?
Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. This is no longer
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up. Ethan, the job.
Who is this?
They're just telling you to
Wait.
wake up. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Oh, fuck.
Ethan.
I skipped Miss Piggy.
Wake up. Since anyone? Just wake up.
He's hanging out with this completely, like, what's the word for it when you hate Jews? This girl she hates Jews, basically. And there's so much proof there. Like, she's just a gross person. She's one of Hassan's, like, orbiters or whatever. And yeah, Idubbbz is just hanging out with him now.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I don't know who the fuck that black guy was. It's the dude from Fortnite.
I'm not going to do a react content yet, chat.
I'm just singing the Nobody's story. Yummy, I love Sabrina.
I just want to say real quick, I know I'm pausing a lot. I had no idea they were going to do a Fortnite dance immediately after I made a Fortnite joke. Bro, he's just doing like shock jock humor attempts. Like, this is not Idubbbz, bro. You can deep throat that mic all you want. This is not you.
All right. I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that. H3, content cop, Idubbbz, Ethan Klein, out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hassan Piker, content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked.
No, I'll admit, like, Ethan has definitely lost the plot, but like this video is definitely, he's spot on. He lost the plot. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
First, my good fucking friends who
Oh no, I broke my fucking, hang on.
I stood by after all
I literally can't hear anything. Wait.
these fucking years.
Oh, I can hear it now.
find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years. So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says
Honestly,
all
these
sorts
two
of
both
outrageous
lost
stuff.
their ways quite a
Sometimes
bit.
it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's had shows with all sorts of different controversial characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hassan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with
You know what's wild? I never really gave a shit when Ethan was hanging out with Hassan. I didn't. Maybe because I didn't know that much about Hassan. And, like, it's only after, like, the whole Palestine thing happened that I kind of just, like, realized Hassan is just, like, a disgusting person. And, I mean, he's not real. It took me a while to realize Hassan's just grifting. Why the fuck is EA... Why is the EA launcher what the fuck? Why?
Hassan
EA,
Leftovers.
bro. Alright.
They would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
No, as 100 shavers use trans women, I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. What? Hassan was equipped to talk about that topic, bro. There's hours and hours and hours of footage of him contradicting, saying complete lies and bullshit. Dude, just because you read Twitter doesn't mean you're reporting the news. That's like the exact opposite. There's actually so much disinformation on Twitter. It's insane. I can't imagine anybody getting their news from Twitter.
Subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, that's fancy and okay, yeah.
Israeli settlers are trying to
Okay, so because H3 was watching meme videos back then, he's automatically not allowed to talk about it. If anything, he's way more allowed to talk about it because he's actually been in Israel. I think he lived in Israel for a little bit, right? His wife was born in Israel. I think he's way more equipped to talk about it than Hassan, a guy who's lived in the U.S. his entire life giving out bro tips. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that that may be a war crime. It literally is.
It's just eating the toppings out. The pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
I don't know if you can make that joke in 2021.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn.
I think it's a good analogy. It's a powerful image.
Ethan was not prepared for this. Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine. You know, we don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow Hassan. Hassan
Politically savvy, bro? We really gonna say that shit? I don't think they are. I'll say definitely liberals, the left. They're very like they decide policy with emotions. Like they really they focus on their emotions, and then that's what the laws should be. I don't agree with that. I don't think you should make laws based on how you feel in the moment. Like, no. And then on top of that, sure, they think a lot with their emotions, but then 25% of that is also critical thinking and research. So I think the left is usually a little bit more informed sometimes on certain things, but then they just completely let the emotional side take over the factual stuff. And then the right is just complete, Asmongold. Yeah, no, yeah, right, no, yeah.
is strictly a political streamer, so this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
So this massive progressive audience that Ethan has
That is what
adopted
that
over the
means.
years, they're becoming increasingly
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. That literally means that Israel will not exist anymore. And you know what happens if Israel doesn't exist anymore? They're gonna kill all the fucking Jews there, bro. They're not gonna take over all of Israel and then just say, please leave. What the fuck? No, dude. That ain't how that works. If it was the other way around, if it was literally from the Gaza border to the Egyptian border, Israel would be whole. Everyone would be like, oh my God, that's calling for genocide. But when it's the other way around, river to the sea, it's not calling for genocide. What kind of argument is his Idubbbz trying to make here? I mean, I should probably let him speak, and I'll figure it out.
critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers, he's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hassan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, like crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like I can't wait to show you guys.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
So Ethan is having this back and forth with his liberal audience, leftist people online, progressive content creators.
It's just like the way he's delivering this information is like biased. Like the way he's delivering it is just like, oh my god, I'm just giving the history here. Now you're giving a fucking one-sided, biased ass take on history. This is literally how a Hassan fan would describe the history.
There's Hassan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome apparently, even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking. And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people, no, not go there.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things eventually.
Who's he harassed, though? The guy who called CPS on his kid? Is that who he harassed? Did he harass the fat piglet that hates Jews? Who's he harassing that doesn't deserve it? Hassan, the guy who says that, you know, Israel should not exist, 9/11 was deserved, laughs at videos of cops getting shot. This guy's a piece of shit. Like, what are we talking about?
Eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hassan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like Idubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this stupid.
Here's how the average man's life would change if he never saw an ad again. Day 1, he would install Pi on.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy's evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. And also he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there. I used to work with this, he didn't
What was
like
the
that.
tweet?
But
I didn't read
Petty
it.
beef. It's like, this guy's evil and he's doing.
Creator Clash 3 needs a headline fight. Here are the options. Ethan Klein versus Hassan Piker. Hassan B versus each. Okay. Vape Nasha versus Hank Pecker. Wow, Idubbbz, you're fucking crushing it with your humor.
Doing anti-Semitism. And also he's way out of my weight class.
he didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there.
Oh, dude, I burped. Isn't that hilarious?
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic.
Oh my
discovered
God,
him
fucking
because he
hilarious,
was in
dude.
the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
I guess I just missed my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered colored.
Now that brings us to February 28th of this year. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that Idubbbz' former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila. But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see, it would be very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with. He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information, and that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that.
I thought he was missing a tooth. What the fuck is going on with his mouth?
They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger
You notice how his lip is like slanted? Like this side, there's a tooth missing. What the fuck is that?
the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit, when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place? If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terror supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the two podcasts.
Dude, the CEO of Twitch is a fucking weirdo.
cast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like she's like an IDF baby killer, all this types of shit, and that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and Idubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor.
See, this is where not Idubbbz. This is where H3 messed up, bro. Just assuming that Idubbbz is your friend. Nah, bro. No. I'm so it's like sick of seeing these like YouTubers get upset and feel like, oh, I was betrayed, I was backstabbed. It's like, dude, you met over the internet. Like, anything you ever did together was just purely business. Like, what the fuck? You're not friends. That's why I think it's fucking sad when I watch like Keemstar hanging out with people and he's like, yeah, we're like good friends. No, you're not, dude. You're business partners. You fucking weirdo. Like, Keemstar, dude, he's just like, this is going off in the wrong direction, but you know, Keemstar, he's got this whole thing going on with Locale Live, bro. I stopped watching that shit. I was watching it for a bit, but then once it turned into like just Discord calls with a bunch of random people that he's trying to make famous, I'm done. Like, anyway, completely distracted.
Editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not going to throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not going to throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial
Look at the gif. He looks so stupid here.
weird crash out.
How many women I fucked? Hassan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes are not. Go. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's what I'm. Wait, how does he know I'm watching?
Bro, Hassan is the weirdest looking motherfucker I've ever seen, bro. If you ever see him actually like moving, like there's a video of him walking on the sidewalk, someone follow. I think, oh, it was that kid who crashed the Game Awards back in like 2022 or some shit. That Bill Clinton kid. He followed Hassan through the streets, and Hassan literally, I don't think it's pigeon toe. It's like when your feet are like outward, like his feet were sideways when he was walking. Purely, he walks like a retard. It's just like got the weirdest fucking body. He's so wide too. You know, like Kylo Ren in the fucking Star Wars movie when he was wide as shit when he took his shirt off. That's Hassan, bro. Hassan is literally, I'd say probably fat. I think he's like fat.
Watching already.
Dude's got a weird
it's not
build.
Fucking petty beef. It's like this guy's evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you've said and done, and I'm sure there are even more people.
I give it to Hassan though. His face is like, yeah, his face is alright, but like, it's really overdone. Like I don't. He's just an average looking guy, bro.
Who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people.
Wait, I'm confused. Who the hell is Idubbbz following on Twitter that H3 doesn't like? Is he talking about his editor that was like verbally assaulting H3 or whatever the fuck, like saying some crazy shit? Or is he talking about Hassan, the guy who literally has the largest H3 hate fan group there is, that he doesn't moderate? You know, they're supposed to be that was the whole point of their crash out, is they're supposed to be friends. And, you know, Hassan didn't tell his mods, hey, stop letting people say in the chat that, you know, H3's wife is a baby killing monster who needs to die. Like, that's all that needed to be done, and he wouldn't do that. He's like, I'm not going to censor my chat cuz I'm a grifter.
People outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I've probably done and stood by Idubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say this, I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. Like, I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had
true.
with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I...
Ugh. Dude, The way Idubbbz is talking here is just the gayest. Like, this is like gay guy energy right here. Like, look at the way he's just like, I was talking. Oh my fucking god, bro.
essentially empathize with that, and I think
Yeah, he
very
essentially
empathetic. I
empathize with
basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment.
Look at
and
the head
I,
movements,
essentially
the
empathize with that,
bobbling.
and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and Denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hassan actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that thing. When this is like, imagine like one
halfway friend. I don't former editor and Denims get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and Denims. As much as you.
Okay, so largest female political Twitch streamer. What the fuck is that? So you can't call out Froggy Tonic, the guy who was saying some crazy shit. You can't call him out. You can't make on that exception. I don't even know what Denim said. Probably some wild, fucked up. God, what is the? I'm gonna look it up.
Who don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hassan actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during the stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila.
Anti-Semitism.
Sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam
had to
McIntyre
look it
needs
up.
to just like disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, like of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked back.
I've really distanced myself from the internet, man. I used to be so fucking like tuned into this shit, but like I see through it now. It's like it's all fucking rage bait, and the stuff that's not rage bait is just coming out of the mouths of complete retards with no understanding of anything. And so I just don't fucking care, bro. I don't care anymore, dude. I'd rather just watch Asmongold go, yeah, yeah. And then I get my filling. I'm like, all right, I think I understand what's going on, and I don't give a fuck anymore. I just don't fucking care about this shit. I don't. You know? Why am I reacting to it?
Bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember when he called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything.
And I was supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's
Why do you
disgusting.
forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do?
Never. It's disgusting.
Dude, what the fuck happened to Idubbbz? He used to have like cutting edge jokes and memes. That little Halo thing, like that's like the 7th time he's done it. Does he think people are pissing themselves laughing at that shit? It doesn't get funnier the more you use it. It's like a shitty little green screen. That's a shitty little green screen effect. You know, that's millennial editing right there. That's what I'll say. It's a millennial joke.
And I mean,
of shit of a human.
it's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
What are you
They never
doing,
made
bro?
a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time, and then there was.
I think I'm interrupting too much that I'm gonna lose all the fucking context, so I should just watch H3. I should just watch H3.
What if is a symptom that torments individuals with OCD?
What if there's a fire because I left some
podcast?
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hassan. You hear all these fucking left.
Okay.
Okay. This is high.
It's just
That's my line. That's
I want to get his initial reaction to whatever the fuck this is.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Look at this.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Bro, what? I cannot believe what I'm saying.
Why the fuck did I watch the original video at all, dude? I should have just been watching this.
This is just I can't do it. Did you tell him to say he's hotter than me? Was that your line? I think it probably was. Okay.
Damn, look at the like to dislike ratio.
Denims who once again,
bro, Idubbbz really burned out his fans, bro. Now he's got nothing but an echo chamber.
Aligning himself with Denims, who literally calls my wife a baby killer.
Oh.
Amongst other insane, terrible things. So that's good.
This is no
interesting.
This is a nightmare. Wake up.
It's not a nightmare. I mean, it is shocking.
What a nightmare.
Why is he like so full of himself? He's like, wake up, dude. This is your nightmare.
You know
Like,
what?
you're
You know what's
not that
crazy,
guy.
dude? I feel like Willie Mack
Clearly.
does more research than Idubbbz now. Like you watch a Willie Mack video, when he makes an accusation or a claim that someone's a piece of shit, there's like 15 clips in a row explaining what he's saying. Idubbbz, it was just like backwards, a biased history of internet drama that who gives a fuck about, but like it's just, I don't know. Idubbbz is just a piece of shit. It's just a piece of shit.
Telling you to wake up.
This is the worst content cop I've ever seen. It's not funny. It's not informative. And it's just aligning yourself with a terrorist supporter.
This dumb bitch. Well, oh yeah, because she was calling rape victims liars. That's why I called her a dumb bitch.
Also, I'll admit, I should have said this in the beginning. I think Israel is also pretty fucked up. I think the IDF are also terrorists. I think both sides are evil. You should never kill children. I think it's fucked up what the Israelis are doing. But I also do not agree with Palestine going to a festival and shooting a fuck ton of people who have nothing to do with it.
Do you remember that part, Ian, or you don't care about that?
God, Ethan, wake up.
Oh my God. Frogan. What a nightmare. Talk about a jump scare. This man willingly got in a room with Frogan to make a video about how I can't. Bro, I can't. How is this real? This is like, am I dreaming?
See? They told you to wake up.
I think I do need to wake up. This is surreal. Idubbbz was literally like co-signed Frogan. The girl who said, I hope fucking veterans get PTSD.
Wake up.
That's a quote that everyone blows out of proportion. I don't give a fuck about that. Well, I hope veterans get PTSD. That's such a horrible thing to say. Is it though? Who gives a fuck? I mean, like, there's probably veterans who said that. Who gives a shit?
Who put on a fucking racial tier list? He's co-signing. The world really has lost its mind. It really has, man.
Speaking of veterans and PTSD, bro, I want to see the
Once again,
Warfare movie.
Bro, I barely even talked about you. I don't even know the fuck. I've seen clips of him, but I don't know who this guy is. I know Sean DeBlack. I know that's his name, but I get the feeling it's one of these situations like.
Dude, I love how nobody knows who this black guy is. Not even H3.
God,
Wake up, Ethan. You're not even the main character. Who the fuck are you? Why are you talking?
Zionist. Wake up. Wake up. Snooze anyone? Just wake up.
Snooze anyone? You can tell like he's got no jokes. His jokes is just like walking around sillily. That's holy.
Sometimes that hits.
No, sometimes it hits. It's not a one time. It's not a one trick.
It shouldn't be a one trick. It's a tool in the toolbox to do silly walks, for sure.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
This is like the most unintimidating group of idiots you could ever assemble. Like this is like so funny to me. Holy shit. And by the way, if they think this is gonna stop what's coming, which is what I think is so funny.
I just let out the girliest little giggle there.
This is actually pretty entertaining. I'm not even fucking tripping. This is kind of fun to watch. It might take me 2 episodes to get through this anyway.
We were late on the dock today, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I don't know how anyone would find that fun to watch, but I find it fun to watch people react to it, which is fucking weird. Because if anyone's watching this video, you're watching me react to someone react.
Has a name and you know her, by the way. Sorry, that was my luck.
Do that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is unreactable. It's reactable. It was kind of funny, but like, dude, they're pausing for like 9-minute intervals. Why the fuck is their anime editor talking behind the desk? No one needs his opinion, bro. What the fuck is this?
And we will never stop. Yeah. That's the clip we're watching. Official Hamas.
Holy shit. It's taking them like 50 minutes just to get to where I was in the video.
So many Muslim students, hospitals, Muslim doctors.
I have to watch it, don't I? I have to fucking watch this piece of garbage. Alright, we're back to the fucking Idubbbz content cop because H3... his reaction to it is just, it's taking way too long, and I'm not getting anything out of it.
Good guys in this story, you know, it's really something.
They got a Boblax
They never made a
plushie.
statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trish's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time, and that there was some amount of pressure or enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time, and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it, and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story, you know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet, unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him, and you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him?
Who the hell is Olivia, dude? I thought he was talking about a country for a second.
Pedophiles on Twitch was not like my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times because like, why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to.
This is just like, I don't think these guys even hate each other. I don't know. This is just like, this is just Idubbbz crashing out like a fucking weirdo. And I don't know. I don't even think they were ever really friends. Why am I
to
watching
hang out with
this?
people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of
I
the
don't
Lebanese, they've received a lot of
fucking
oppression and attacks from the
care.
IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing
What the fuck kind of take is that? What the fuck? Hang on a minute. Gotta re-listen to that retardation.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish.
Who gives a fuck? First of all.
For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So,
Okay. So the Lebanese get attacked by the IDF, and the Irish were, what, taxed by the Jews?
been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese...
Oh, wait a minute. So the Irish, just in general, have been on the receiving end of genocide and oppression back in, what, the 1700s, the 1600s? When the fuck was that? What are we talking about? Okay, so she's well versed in something that happened hundreds of years ago. Cool, because she's half Irish. Guess what, dude? I'm a quarter Native American. That doesn't mean I walk the Trail of Tears. Who gives a fuck? This is a stupid argument.
They've received a lot of oppression and attacks
In the Lebanese
from the IDF. So,
okay, so she's half Lebanese. Did she live in what, Libya? Whatever the fuck Lebanon is? Dude, this is the dumbest fucking argument ever. I'm gonna look it up right now. She is a dual citizen of both Canada and the United States. So his girlfriend is a dual citizen of Canada and the United States, but since she's half Lebanese and Irish, that automatically means she's well versed in what's going on in Gaza. Cool. What kind of dumb shit is this?
Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel.
She's not... because she's genetically Irish and Lebanese? What? Sure she's not fucking Canadian, dude? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Be like, please defend me. No, we're not going to fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill
I cannot believe Idubbbz is this fucking dumb. It's crazy.
Americans.
Do we have that
I
one?
mean, like, just the other day, Baby fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So yes, you caught us. We're not going to run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's
Okay, you're following two people that call Hila a terrorist, a baby killer, and all kinds of names. And you're not going to be like, yeah, I'm sorry I follow them, but, you know, I know them, so I'm just going to keep following them. Sorry. You know, you're not even going to make like a little statement or something, or at least apologize behind the scenes or something. Or just embrace the fact that you want to follow them and you're not friends with Ethan. It's that simple, dude. You know, I'm not going to be friends with somebody if they're friends with people that are calling my wife a fucking murderer. Like, that's just... didn't Idubbbz literally kick somebody out of a boxing event because they said they would buy his girlfriend's OnlyFans? Someone's pretty fucking defensive of their spouse and can't understand why someone else would be defensive. That's ridiculous.
That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So,
the problem.
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people
Again, another horrible millennial joke that just does not land.
and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that
Kind of like all of his punches when he was fighting in Creator Clash.
stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know,
Her dad,
yeah,
which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims
Denim.
is actually participating.
Over half of the current and former employees follow Denims.
In this whole child protective service lie.
Yeah,
which I'll
and if
show you
you're
guys
friends with them, then you're saying what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, where we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Neela are good people. Kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know. I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention right now.
Kind of like what you're doing right now.
One's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you can be.
Actually, no. Idubbbz doesn't get that defense. He's not doing it for internet clout and attention. He's doing it because he's a cuck. And his girlfriend said, you should really say something about the Palestine situation.
My friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not gonna make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking, you're either my best friend who's deep throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? And then from there, the conversation ends.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
Wix.
Great ideas.
Do you have a child in an oven mitt?
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore. But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay, do you have anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Bane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy
I just
getting
don't
pulled into this
fucking
mess.
care. I kind of want to skip.
Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Neela? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't think we need to do it right now, but you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I'm fine with you not blasting me on your...
Fuck you, you piece of shit, and fuck my friends, too, who have stood by all these years, who now can't find their spine. I don't need any fair weather friends. I don't even know what that means.
Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section.
I don't think Ethan thought he owed you guys anything when he defended you guys in the past. That's just what friends do. Looks like you trying to avoid drama for the sake of CC is working out, though. You know what's interesting? So, when Ethan tells him to pick a side and you know, make a stance against, you know, people he's friends with, saying all kinds of fucked up shit about his wife. It's like, no, dude, I'm not picking a side. You should never make me pick sides. And then what does he do? He picks a side, and now he's siding with fucking siding with all these other people who are in the wrong. They're in the wrong. They just have terrible takes. A lot of them are grifters, I'll admit, you know. And it's just like, so it's bad to pick a side for Ethan, but it's good to pick a side for Hassan. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because Hassan is the ultimate left voice that I'm sure Anissa loves.
On my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not to do harassment campaigns and instead talk about vampires kiss.
They say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Neela. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually
thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens, and you're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terror supporter. He probably sits up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view on Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you...
Dan Clancy is a piece of shit, bro. If you watch that that content nuke or whatever H3 made, bro, Dan Clancy's a piece of shit.
continue to harass people. Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people. It's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself, in terms of these fair weather friends who are,
I just want to
so happy
skip this so
be friends.
bad.
You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults. Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
but that
saying
would be
which
commendable.
and by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, the house is clean, they're, they're actually good people, like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Oh, he's going to talk about Piggy.
Who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids? Ethan and Hila
is he about to do a fucking?
Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the fucking the prompt is. No one would care. The only person
You're
who would care
talking
is
about
me
Bill
because I'm like,
Burr
why did I
now?
tweet
What?
this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to
Okay.
my audience because I don't give a fuck.
Seems like this is going to get pretty interesting here.
It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's
Yes, it
difficult
does.
and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles admirable, is that it's not always easy.
Why are you saying I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles. Now we're going to talk about the BDS list. We're going to start off with Rogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're
Boycott these creators now for their complicity in not deep-throating Ethan Klein.
following Rogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are
What the fuck is wrong with Idubbbz, bro? This is crazy stuff, dude. This is some wild retardation. So boycott these creators now for their complicity in not deep-throating Ethan Klein. So boycott them for not agreeing with Ethan. Befriend, discuss, social media, follow, priority boycott targets of the BDS movement. I don't even know what BDS means. Sounds like a fucking like a bowel syndrome. Pressure targets of the BDS. What the fuck is the BDS movement?
following Rogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Mordecai, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan. Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here. Asmongold follows Rogan. No, Asmon. That means you're anti-Ethan. That's fucked up.
Why the fuck does Asmongold follow this bitch? What?
We're going to want to avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hassan's in there. You'd think that Hassan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hassan provides...
What the fuck is that picture? Is he wearing makeup? What the fuck? Dude looks like a tran.
additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hassan because that's what he did. You got to be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hassan, that just makes sense because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hassan on Instagram, so Hassan is in his feed.
And that's showing up right up on Anissa's and Idubbbz feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hassan but are still anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot
Organic boycotts supported by BDS movement.
of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hassan. It's because Ethan is...
Honestly, I don't know. Stav hanging out with Hassan is really weird in my book. I think maybe they just go back pretty far and that's why. But I don't really get it. And then Theo Vaughn, I don't think Theo Vaughn actually likes Hassan, but whatever.
Ethan is a coward. He's a bitch-made coward. I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have power, they're quick, and
I don't even know who the fuck these two are. These aren't comedians.
he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology. But he's going to keep that to himself because the last thing
I think that one might be from Cumtown.
that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to, they don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history. We talk about Bill Burr ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode. It made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hassan's stream and he mocks your content nuke,
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh, no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that, and I actually feel betrayed. Yeah. And so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
you don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just going to tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking
I don't know what Stav's doing, bro.
connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream, you're not touching it. Fuck you, you're a coward. It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although he's sniffing around.
This guy Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy Matt Lieb, who apparently is an producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife or in a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic, and he interviewed basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to, and I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied.
Dude, he's only, I don't know, I'm not following this so deeply, but I feel like he hasn't threatened to sue anybody that didn't call CPS on his child. Like, I think he's only suing one guy for doing that, or maybe two people actually.
You're being a piece of shit, and we're gonna call you out.
What the fuck?
It's hard for us to imagine a life with dirty water, so we're gonna try this.
I'm actually interested in this.
Imagine for a moment that you're a 6-year-old girl living in a rural part of the world. You have
Look
a
at that.
family you love, a few best.
You see this, dude? These people have actual problems. And here we are, debating like retards about why people shouldn't be friends with certain people.
friends, and you're really good at jumping rope. And you love going to school.
These kids will be a million times happier than Hassan.
But despite your age,
Look at him.
you also have a job. Because you're a girl, collecting water is a responsibility that you were born in.
These are children. These are children during the apartheid.
For as long as you can remember.
So here's the button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
What the fuck? What is this montage, dude? What is wrong with Idubbbz, dude? These things, you're not being creative or poetic with this. I don't know what the fuck this is. What does it mean?
Yes. There's no point. Yeah, there's no need. Yeah. See you out there. Yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a
Why? Okay, whatever.
response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control
That was funny. That was a funny situation, bro. Some dude deep faked a picture of her face onto a nude, beat off to it, got caught, and then she made like a whole public statement on how she's a victim and how like she's sad and disgusted. And it's like, okay, why are you filming it? Like, why are you? This isn't even. I don't know, dude. That's not something to cry about. That's just something you block a guy. I don't know, dude. I know women, and the ones I know would not cry over that. They'd just be disgusted. They'd block the guy, and that would be it.
himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
Dan and Gil were like, we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if this is the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about getting something wrong, he's hitting the button.
But okay. What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong.
Dude, I can't believe that happened so long ago. I didn't know the deepfake thing happened that long ago. That he got a button during leftovers. That's weird.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state, refers to as goblin
I
mode.
do not call myself goblin mode. Goblin mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue an apology.
You got goblin mode today. You're goblin mode. Look how many times you paused.
I'm trying, dog. And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of the shit like you're trying to do to me, treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not.
You know what's interesting, dude? He's gotten so much more like healthier and happier after he just like not abolished, but like abandoned, you know, that weird woke ideology that you have to care about other people's opinions and thoughts and feelings constantly. Like, you know, sometimes you just gotta let go. You just gotta let it go.
Not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior. That's not goblin mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, it would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the way...
Just don't. Listen, your critique of her is correct. It's just,
I think it's kind of weird, dude. He has a crew of people that are like, you know, not supporting him. That is true. Like, you see people in the studios and like on his show, like he hires people that really disagree with him, probably Hassan fans. Like, it's kind of weird that he employs people that are like literally against the things that he gets angry about, but whatever.
How pathetic are you? You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm not assuming his pronouns. And fuck all these people. Go ahead.
No.
And I'm not yelling at you. I'm just... Kelly is a black woman, right?
Yes.
Maziel is a...
Korean.
Oh, Dan, come on. You're being so this right now.
Rude. It was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use the action photos.
What are you doing?
Awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not
Just like...
What are we doing here, bro?
We need to get home for our kids.
Like,
What are we doing
no, I don't
here?
want to finish it right now. I'm not finishing Wednesday.
Like they don't exist. It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah and Syria alone killed double that much. Alright, I'm gonna move on. I just want to play a song talking about Bad Banana.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him because he's putting them in this position every day, right? But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin Mode. Well, Ethan debuted.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that, like, how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
Yeah, but
I really just don't give a shit anymore. This is going nowhere. It's just propaganda. Who gives a fuck?
how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how Jewish people... I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hassan? Like, this guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until, oh, Ethan talks about being aware of Hassan's 9/11 comments and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him from such classics as...
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two. That is...
Okay, wait, hang on a second. So if Idubbbz is admitting now that Hassan saying that America deserved 9/11 wasn't a joke, and that that's something that he should not be affiliating with, but you're affiliating with it, I guess what his real argument here is that, like, you know, if you knew about it, you should have known that it wasn't a joke, and then you shouldn't have, you know, gotten affiliated with him, which still means that Idubbbz basically understands that it wasn't a joke and is still affiliating with Hassan. He's just criticizing H3 for not knowing Hassan's a piece of shit going in like he does. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. That's a weird fucking defense there.
Is someone who's extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hassan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are, but you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online. You're not a victim. You weren't tricked. You made 60 some odd episodes. If you didn't want to go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking choice. You did it. You are an adult. When Ethan and Hila are watching Matt Lieb saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews, they cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person represents all Jews, as no single state represents all Jews.
Why is everybody putting up with ads like it's 2010? Like, it's 2025, guys. Just use Pi. This Chrome extension takes...
This is another weird thing.
Oh my God.
Israel, this is a lie that I see Hassan and people pander. They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of...
I don't want to edit any of this video, but let's say I don't. I'm just going to say real quick. Ever since I made that video shitting on ad blockers, I've been getting nothing but ads for ad blockers. It's the ultimate fucking irony, I guess. It's pretty fucked up.
Judaism. They've never. I don't believe that that's ever been stated, and I don't think Israel ever explains that it's like. I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace. You know, if that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go. Like, sure, it sounds like America to me. Like, all right.
I don't think that Israel said they represent all Jews. I don't think that's a stance. We're like, hey, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest that he doesn't understand what Matt Lieb is saying. Like, it's like he's making a semantic argument. Like, I don't think Israel has said that it represents every last Jew on the planet. I don't think Israel has claimed that. They're not going to say that their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them, okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together. So when they're being criticized, all of a sudden they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't. And also, we have tiers. We have Aaron, Cody.
Habibi.
Say Habibi, you know, like you've got like white guys like...
Habibi, brother. Habibi. The fuck does Habibi even mean?
Is it slurs? And then Love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list. Granted, Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people, and...
Habibi originates from Arabic and literally translates to my love or beloved. It's a widely used term of endearment, often used with friends, family, and even in romantic context. It can also be used more informally as a substitute or terms like bro, friend, or honey. Notice there is no source to this screenshot.
Muslim people. Like that is a word that's used. Habibi. It means my love. Oh no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi. I'm your Habibi. So yes, it's meant to be a fun way that these Arab content creators can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it, because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
Making a tier list based on race, and nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on Arab to Jew. He's Arab, which is good. That's the best thing you can be on this. That's the best. This is.
I just find it weird. Why the fuck would you need a tier list on who can say Habibi? Oh, who can say it correctly, right? Okay.
The fuck is racist?
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hassan.
Cracker. I mean, you know what my take is.
See, now this is good. This is good dirt right here. This is fucking, that's a perfect comparison. Holy fuck.
We can't put this as an F. Cracker. I mean,
Dude really got him on this one. Holy shit. What are you doing?
that's got to be at least a D, right?
Pale face motherfucker.
Pale face. I mean, again, I think that's an F.
Hog. So Hog is my favorite. I use it all the time.
Him and Hassan feel as though they're white guys, so they felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
I think I'm more white than you. What do you think?
I think I'm white. Like, I'm super white.
Can you understand why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan? You're the white guy. You think you're more white than Hassan.
I think I'm more white than you.
So yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like Cracker, but the Arabs can't have their tier list.
I would put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they drop the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi, and then it's like Hassan. Okay, actually he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in Israel. Again, people underestimate just how like mixed Israeli culture is. Like
we say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
Fuck, this is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans, and Ethan Klein presents you this tier list and calls it anti-Semitic, you're just gonna eat it up. It's not. Ethan is just proving his low.
If you are on the left and you can't understand why these people were suspended, you are hopelessly lost. We, yes, on the left, look like giant fucking hypocrites when we look the other way, when our own are being racist bigots. I feel like this is kind of out of context, because he's basically what Idubbbz is trying to say is that Ethan is saying that the word Habibi is racist, or like whatever. Like he thinks that he's saying that this tier list is racist because of the word Habibi. It's not. It's I guess I don't even know if it's racist. It's more like anti-Semitic. Basically, they put every Arabic person at the top of who could say Habibi, and then they put the more Jewish people at the very bottom. That is anti-Semitism.
Location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arabs who eat Sabra.
Especially because Jews say Habibi. So Jews in Israel say Habibi, and then you make a tier list saying who can and can't say Habibi, and then you just put all the Jews at the bottom. That's anti-Semitic. It's not racist, it's anti-Semitic. And I don't know why Idubbbz is trying to make the argument that, oh, it's a race thing. The word Habibi isn't racist. That's not the argument.
Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store, and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit. Like the average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking Sabra, and that sucks that that's the only option, right? Arab communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the U.S. So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days, he goes on to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody prefers Sabra over homemade like restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is fluffy.
What the fuck is hummus?
Weird.
Yeah.
I would buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
I'm gonna have to try it, dude.
The problem is with Sabra, in my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
For some reason, like when you eat this Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. And imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've never liked hummus.
Oh, okay. Oh, you hate
Permission to shit on Sabra hummus granted.
Use them.
And Arabs. Yeah. Fuck, this is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing. He can have that.
This is the most... Holy shit. Dude is reaching so hard. He's in season 4 of Jack Reacher. Jack Reacher. He's reaching, dude. Jack Reacher.
Discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know...
Chicken jockey.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
The Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture, and instead thinking that that is an attack on you. There's this incident...
It is an attack on him because they literally used his face to make him the ultimate Jew and put him at the bottom of the board next to Ben Shapiro, another massive Jew. They put 2 big named Jews, everyone knows they're Jewish, at the very bottom of the board together, and then they put all of the Arabic people at the top. That is anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitic. If I imagine I made a tier list and it was like who can play basketball the best, and then I put all the white players at the bottom and black players at the top, that would be racist.
Incident on the podcast where they were reacting to Cutie Cinderella.
It's the same fucking thing.
And Ethan was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
And then for some reason you want to argue against that, basketball analogy with a fucking, a mayonnaise argument. Actually, in Africa, mayonnaise is 60% harder to get because mayonnaise is manufactured in the Canadian border next to Anissa's birthplace where she was born because she's not fucking Irish or Libyan. And so mayonnaise is just like really hard to get. And then you play a compilation of me talking shit about mayonnaise, and then you're like, see? Like, what the fuck what are you trying to say right now? You're retarded.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella perfect score? A perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a good apology.
I'm right, 10 out of 10.
I know what a perfect apology is, lady. You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10. This one is actually best apology, so. Ethan Klein, you guys, oh my god.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying, and we might learn a thing or two.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks. Unlike me, perfect score 10. I said, hey, no wig drama. Why are you such a spineless, coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
Okay, Idubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize. And I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Love that guy, dude. Now can you believe it? That guy has more integrity than Idubbbz right there. Look at that. Look at the fucking pain in his face that he couldn't get the own that he wanted. I didn't get my get back. Dude, this is Sam Hyde all over again, bro. You try so hard to get a win, but you can't.
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade, but that's okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system, so
I don't even know who gives a fuck about apology rating systems.
I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based
Oh, well, I couldn't get the apology rating I wanted, so I'm going to make my own.
on my own feelings and my own rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. I think something...
Idubbbz, you can't fight. You really can't fight. You're like you would get raped in prison. You're a bottom bitch. You really are a bottom bitch. Just because you got a punching bag in the back and you throw Creator Clash because you got a bit of money, doesn't make you good at boxing, dude. You're shit at it. You're ass. I would beat the fuck out of Idubbbz any day of the week. Any day of the week. I would whoop his fucking ass. Because he's not a boxer. He looks like he's going to a Fast and Furious movie screening, and he's like trying to look like Paul Walker or whatever the fuck.
Something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism.
Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic.
That he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human, because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him.
I got a bunch of tattoos, I shaved my head, and now I box. So I'm really good at boxing now, and, yeah.
Because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the idea.
What the fuck is this garbage?
I should be proud. It's stepping to a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy. Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted, and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when you're at your best. So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the sports figure that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to where I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stunk.
The fuck is this? So I don't think they're apologizing. They're just giving like backhanded, like, I'll be expecting your apology when you give it.
I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago.
Okay, so they're not apologizing, and they're just they're giving like I don't know what the fuck this is. This is just the weirdest.
Fighting that frivolous lawsuit, that was pretty fucked up, and fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
I mean, Idubbbz didn't have any credibility before this, but I mean, at this point, it's at a new low. I don't know what the fuck any of this is.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like,
Is he crying? What the fuck? What the fuck am I looking at?
it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you put it on defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up. A feeling of almost infallibility, that I could take anything on.
All right, this is
led me
gay.
to
I'm
make a
done.
lot of mistakes. And then when I was